Hey guys, Chris from AxeFX Tutorials here, and today Fractal Audio released a public beta of firmware version 19.06 for the AxeFX 3, and the main feature of this firmware is the Setlist and Song function for the FC controllers. Now you will need an FC controller to fully utilize this new feature, but there is a way to kind of test things out if you don't have your FC plugged in or if you don't have an FC at all. But to get the most out of it, you will want a FC controller from Fractal Audio to go with your AxeFX 3. So let's take a look. Now for most of this video, we're going to use Axe Edit. It's just the easiest to kind of show in a video, but towards the end, I will show a few things on the front panel. Now you can do everything you need to from the front panel as with everything else, but it's a little easier to use Edit, especially if you're going to be typing names of songs and names of sets and things like that. But do know that if you get to the gig and then you need to change the order of songs or something like that, that'd probably be the most common thing. It's just very, very easy to do from the front panel, and I'll show that toward the end of the video. But let's look at Axe Edit. There is a new version to go along with this firmware, so make sure you get that from the same thread on the forum. If you look up here on the right, you'll see FC Edit and FC per preset like we had before, but now we also have sets/songs here, and this is where all the new stuff is. So you're going to click that, and we get this new window here. So first, a quick overview of set lists. We can have up to 4 total set lists, and one of them will be active at any time. Within a set, we can have up to 32 songs in any order, and we can rearrange those very easily. We have 128 songs that we can set up, and more on this later, but I like to refer to this as a pool of songs to choose from. And within each song, we can have up to 6 sections per song. So now that we went that way, let's go backwards and start with sections. What is a section? A section can select a specific preset and a specific scene to load when it's selected. So if we click on this preset here, preset number, we get our familiar list, and we can go anywhere in here and choose any preset we want. Let's choose Clock Tower 349. And we can also choose what scene is called up when this loads, when we enable this section. You can have it set to default, whatever was saved or however you have it set, or you can choose a specific scene to come up when you choose that section. You can name sections, something like intro, verse, chorus, things like that. And all of these naming areas have different character lengths. Sections are a little bit shorter than song names, for example, and things like that. And so we've just put 3 sections here in this song. Right now it's called song number 40. Let's call it something else like Love Song. There we go. So song 40 is Love Song, and we can see it updated in the song list here. And we can have up to 6 sections. I've only used 3 here. Now, the 6 sections works really well with the FC6, 1 section per switch if you want to do it that way, or the FC12, maybe 1 section for the bottom row of switches on an FC12, something like that. So those are sections. From here, it might be easier to start creating a set list, so we can talk about some of the other things. Ahead of time, I added some songs here that we can add to the set list. So here we are in our first set. I happen to name it set 1, and let's just start putting some songs in there. So let's say at this gig, we're going to do this song first, then this song, then we're going to do this song, and so forth. So I'm just going to drag some things in. So I'm clicking and dragging to move things around. You can also right click or control click on a Mac and choose select song, and you get a nice grid here that you can specifically pull in a song. This is a little easier sometimes than clicking and dragging. It depends on kind of what you're trying to do. Anyway, now we've loaded that song. You can also double click on it to bring up the same list. So now we have a cool set going on. This is our set for tonight. We have these songs in this order. But, oh, actually I made a mistake. We're going to do this song 3 a.m. first. So you can just click and drag these handles. These 3 lines here are kind of handles. And let's say, oh, we were going to do that song, and we're going to do Love Song first, of course, because you got to start out the night with a love song. And actually, I'm going to take out Daphne Blue because we're going to do that. We only have 5 songs this set, so let's delete that from here. And now this is empty. All right, so we have set 1 hammered out, just 5 songs. Now let's go to the second set, and I happen to name it set 2 in this example. And let's create a new set. Now you might have noticed that when I click from set 1 to set 2, the songs here change, in the actual set, but the song list over here doesn't change. You don't get another 128 songs per set or anything like that. This is what I'm referring to right now as like it's a pool of songs or a bank of songs that you can choose from. So what you probably want to do is first create your songs and their sections. And this is going to be like a list that stays here all the time. And of course you can delete and change things, but generally speaking, let's say you fill up, 20 of these songs that you do all the time. Those 20 songs are going to stay there. The idea here is to be able to pull these same 20 songs or whatever you've filled here into this set list from night to night and change the order and things like that. So again, this won't change too much once you get going. Once you've loaded it in, you're probably not going to change this too much or maybe at all. But what you will be changing is the sets and the orders that these songs appear. So just a heads up, this 128 songs that are available here are going to be the same songs for all 4 sets because it's like a pool or a bank of songs that you choose from to fill in that set list. Anyway, let's go to set list 2. I happen to name it set 2, like I said, and let's make another set with some of the songs that are still here that we didn't play yet tonight. So we got to start with that one, always. And we're going to put this, we're going to do that 4th. We're going to follow it up with that one. And we can put this one in slot 3. So as you might have seen, as I was dragging this around, I actually swapped positions or like added it to the list and it scooted everything down. So just a heads up there, if you click and drag something, if you see this little line, it's kind of hard to see on this video, but if you see this line, it's gonna add to the set list and bump everything down. If you drag it over and you see this sort of box around here, it's going to replace what's there. So let's replace this empty thing with that. You see it didn't scoot it down. So just be careful when you're dragging things over. If you want it to scoot things down, wait for this line. If you want it to replace what's there, look for that box. That's why sometimes it's easier to double click and choose from the list, or you can right click and get some more options, the list or delete the song. I still need to adjust the order, so let's grab these handlebars and drag things around. Like I said, we got to start with this song, and we'll end with that. So there, now we have set 2. So we go back to set 1, we have these songs in this order. We go to set 2, we have different songs in their own order, and we're all set. And just a quick note, if I was clicking around and you saw some of these sections empty or default, that's on purpose. I just didn't have time to adjust every single song with every single section and things like that, just for this demo. So that's not an error or anything like that. I just didn't do it. So just like a lot of features in the Axe-Fx 3, there's what I like to call the brain side of the feature and the controller side of the feature. So what we've just done is kind of adjust the brain side, the actual data of everything. And now we need to set up the controller. So let's go do that. So we're going to exit out of this setlist menu, this new thing, and we're going to go into FC Edit, because remember, you want to have an FC controller to actually use what we've just set up. So we're going to click FC Edit, and I have a layout here. It's blank, so we can kind of look at the new stuff. Right here, we're going to go to Category, and as you can see, there are 3 new categories here. We have Setlist, Song, and Song Section. Now, quick, brief overview on all of these. If you choose Setlist, we can select, toggle, or go up and down through the set lists. Remember, there are 4 set lists, so we can choose those. We can also have it load the song as soon as it loads that set list. So if you're changing set lists during the gig, it can load that first song immediately, and you can have sound and have the correct thing going on. And be sure to check out the mini display labels here for different options. The next category is Song. We can select the song directly. We can toggle between 2 songs back and forth, or we can kind of go up or down the songs in order, however we want to do it. And remember, there are 32 songs per set once you've chosen what set to be active. And we can either wrap when we get there and go all the way back around or not. And again, be sure to check out the mini display options here. The last one is Song Section. And it's similar. We can select a section directly. We can toggle between 2 sections, or we can go up and down, same thing, just one at a time, through the 6 sections in a song. So that's a quick overview of the new switch functions available, but how would you actually use this, during the gig? Well, Matt from Fractal uploaded some example layouts for the FC6 and the FC12. It's in the forum, the announcement thread for this firmware, and it's meant to sort of replace layout 7, the default layout 7. So you can go to Edit, Import Layout, and put that file in here. So here it is. And for this video, I did change one thing on all the section switches. Instead of showing the name of the section, I chose to show the number just to kind of show what's happening. You might not know the names of the sections I made, but we can easily see section 1, section 2, and so on. So I'll change that back when we're done, but just a heads up there. So now my FC here, my FC6, will choose section 1 of the song that's loaded. If I press that button, section 2, section 3, and so on. And on these, I left these to show the name on the hold function of these two switches. You can go down one song or up to the next song when you're done with it. So we can choose sections. And remember, in our set list, we're looking at the song 1979 right now. I have intro, verse, chorus, and whatever. It'll go to preset 93. Section 2 will go to preset 116, and so on. So the names of the sections will probably be important to you later on, but for now, I just wanted to show what's actually happening. So let's go over to the gear. And you can see on the top of the FC, the main screen here, it actually shows the song name and the section name below it. So right now we're on the first section, which is what loads when you load a new song. We're going to go to section 2, and we can see the name appears here. Section 3, 4, 5, 6, and I just have those 6 sections here, and we saw the name up here. I'm going to change it back to what's default now that we know what's going on. So give me a sec. All right, now that we know what's going on, these are the sections. I changed it back to show the name of each section, and this makes a little more sense if you're using it live. So intro, verse, chorus, bridge, solo, and so on. So now we have a song called Love Song in this example with 6 different sections that we can jump around, and those sections are calling out various presets from the Axe effects wherever they are in memory. I'm going to switch back to edit for a second, and we're going to look at this view. Now I'm going to be clicking the FC over here. You don't need to see that, but watch up here. Watch what happens when we change sections in this song. We're going to go to intro. It's going to go to 349, 62, 75. Now I just have it all going to default scenes here, but you can see that we're jumping way across the preset spectrum, all the way from 0. You can go all the way up to 1,000 if you have like the turbo or, you know, that many presets, all the way up to 500 for most others, things like that. So really, really cool that we can now sort of leave the presets where they are in memory, you know, in this list. We don't need to necessarily rearrange them in our own custom order in our empty spots, but we can leave them wherever they are and use the songs feature and the set list to jump around all the presets very easily. All right, let's just say we finished Love Song here. We did the outro and we're ready for the next song. So again, in this example layout for the FC, we can hold this top right switch and we'll go to the next song. So now we're here on our next song, 3 a.m. If you have the mini displays set to name, you can see if you have empty sections. So that's kind of nice. So in this song, I only need 3 different sections. We have clean here, we have a heavy part, for example, and then we have our solo, and we can go clean. Now let's say we want to go back to Love Song, so we can do that. We can hold and go back down. Let's say we accidentally went up to 3 a.m., but we weren't quite done yet. We can go back down. Just wanted to show you what another song would look like. But back in this song, because there's more sections here, we have intro, verse, chorus. So let's say we're playing, and what it might look like is we're going to start on our intro, play our intro, of course. Then we're going to go to the verse, we hit the verse button. Then we go to the chorus, we hit the chorus button. Now, sometimes you play the intro again to come around for the second verse. You can go back here, press intro, and you're right back to that sound. Then go through the verse again, chorus, then you have a bridge. Then let's say we go back to the chorus after that into a solo, and we bring it back down for breakdown. We do the intro sounds again, we do another chorus, and then we do an outro. I'm jumping around presets all over the place, but you can see with just these 6 sections, depending on the song, of course, you can get the sounds you need for each sort of part and just select them as you want when you need it. Another method that you might use, depending on how you structure your presets and sounds and now songs and sections, is to use the increment or decrement option. So let's use 2 switches here. For the first switch, we're going to go up in order, and I'm just going to use this song as an example. Let's copy and put that over here on this second switch tap function, but we're going to go down by 1. So now we have that set up. Let's go back to the FC. With this switch, I'm going to go up. Let's go to our intro, and we're just going to go straight through those sections. Intro, verse. Now this screen is currently showing what happens when I press the switch. It's going to go to the chorus, and the top screen shows where I am currently. So we're in the verse, we're going to go to the chorus, you know, and now we're in the chorus. Let's say I want to go back, so I can press this switch to go down, back, you know, to the verse, back to the chorus, over to the bridge, over to the solo, over to the outro. Again, whatever makes sense for the song that you're using, but that's just another example. You can just go up and down, right in order of the sections you've made. Similar to scenes if you've ever used it that way. So this is just one way to use set lists and songs with sections. Very straightforward use where you have songs in a particular order with tones and presets in a particular order, and you just go to the next song when you're done, go through those sections, go to the next song when you're done, go through those sections, and so on. But there are a few different things you can do with this new setlist feature in addition to just sort of making set lists that you go in order of different songs. During my live stream earlier today, we had a ton of cool suggestions, and one thought was rather than making your set list just actual set lists, you know, songs in particular orders, you could actually use them as band lists. I believe it was Cypherhost from the Fractal Forum who suggested that. And you can use set 3, for example, for your acoustic gig. Now, it's a lot of work to make all these songs and set lists, so I'm just going to have a few songs and sections here as an example. So for set list 3, here I named it acoustic, and let's say every Sunday night I have like an acoustic gig, and there are specific songs I only play with this band, and just to save time, I called it acoustic 1, acoustic 2, you know, whatever the song name is. And I can pull those songs into my acoustic band set list and have this full of all of those and jump around and move them around as I need to at the gig. But just these songs, you know, my acoustic songs live in this set list because only this band on Sundays plays that. And any of these songs up here, I don't ever play these songs with this acoustic band. Those are for my other set list. But that's a cool idea. You can start arranging your set list per band or per night, whatever the gig happens to be. Similarly, on setlist 4, I called this rock, and it could be the same thing. On Saturday, the night before, we have a big rock gig, and I have all my rock songs here instead. So all of these are like my rock songs, and I populate this set list, and I can change the order before the gig, you know, whatever songs it are, but I'm always using these songs here, for example, for my rock band. But that got me thinking, way back on the Axe-Fx 2, I used to do this thing where I played different gigs in different rooms, and some rooms a Marshall tone for distortion sounded a little better, and in other rooms a boogie tone sounded a little better because of a tighter sound or more highs or whatever you want to describe it as. But you can actually use setlist to do that. So for this example, I've set up 2 songs, Boogie and Marshall, but the sections in each song aren't really like intro, verse, chorus. Instead, they're selections of various presets that I really like, and I can choose from them at any given moment during the gig. So let's say I get to the gig and I want a boogie sound. Do I want a Mark IV sound? Do I want a recto sound? You know, I can choose from those things during the gig right there. Same thing for the Marshall type. The sections aren't intro, verse, chorus, but I have a Plex 50, a 100, a Brit 800, the HBE, the JVM, things like that. So I could use the setlist function not to go in order of song sections or anything like that, but instead kind of a secondary organization, if you will, or a secondary way to arrange presets and scenes. So check this out. First, I'm going to make my active set 4, so we actually have those there, and I need to make sure that my 2 songs are here in this set list so I can choose them. Let's go out of here and back into the FC. And right now I've chosen the boogie song here, and we can see that I have all my sections here. But these sections are just calling up the presets that I wanted. So this is the layout that was uploaded as an example. This isn't going to really do what I want. So I've made a couple of different layouts. Let's go back to edit here. So I've made a few layouts. This first layout will choose the set that I'm in, as well as choose the songs here. And here's my boogie song, here's my Marshall song. That's not too important, just want to show you what's here. This next layout I made are sections, and this is similar to the demo layout that we got from the forum, but here's Mark IV, 2C+, Recto. These are the actual presets that I've chosen, just 4 of them for now. But what I did is I put layout links on everything. So let's go to the gear and I'll show you exactly what happens. So let's say we're already in our boogie selection here, and I'm at the gig and I say, what do I want? Do I want a Mark IV right now? Do I want a 2C+, a Recto? Let's go with Recto 1. So when I click on it, it's going to change to the Recto 1 preset. but the layout links are going to take me over to layout 2 right here. And this is your default sort of scene control. So now I've chosen the recto type of amp, and I'm now looking at the scenes of this preset right here. So I could have clean and leads and different things here, whatever I want. Whatever flavor I'm feeling that moment, I can do that. I can go back, I put on hold here, I can go back to the sections here, and let's say I'm done with my Recto 1 sound, and I want a Mark 4 sound instead. I click this, the layout link changes me to the scenes layout, layout 2, the default, and now I can choose the different scenes in this preset. I can go back and say, oh, let's see, what did I want? Do I want Recto 2 now? Oh no, I'm actually in a Marshall mood right now, so I can hold this is what I just happened to program, and here I am back on the song selection list, but I'm using these songs to kind of choose moods or whatever. Let's go to our Marshall, songs. So now I have all these to choose from: JVM, HBE, Brit. Let's go to the Brit, and that layout link again takes me into the preset, into the scenes, and now I have all the scenes in the factory Brit preset. Let's go back, we're done with the Brit. Let's go to HBE. I'm feeling it for this night instead. I'll do an HBE, and I can live in these scenes and do whatever I need to. So I know that was a quick explanation, but just wanted to show that set lists can also just be a way of organizing, grabbing different presets from all throughout the memory, and doesn't necessarily have to be intro, verse, chorus, or something in order. You can kind of use it to choose the flavor or whatever you want right there, or you have a bunch of presets that you use, but slight variations. You can use the set list to kind of choose the variations that you want at any given time while keeping them sort of in the same spot in your Axe-Fx memory. You don't have to click and drag and save multiple versions of the preset anymore. You can use Setlist to grab and reference where those presets are and mix them up in any order that you want. So real quick, I wanted to show what the front panel looks like. What we're going to do is hit the E knob under the screen, and we see a new entry here, FC Setlists and Songs. I'm just going to nav down and press enter to get there. Now, I'm not going to go through everything in the front panel, but the main thing you probably want to do is set up all your songs in Edit like we just did, but at the gig, you might need to rearrange the order of your songs. So let me show you how to reorder the songs at the gig with just the front panel. You're going to go into that menu that we just did. Make sure you're on the Set List tab, and you're going to press the B button for Edit Set. Now, right here, it's very easy. You're going to turn the A knob to highlight different songs. And let's say we want to do Budapest first. Highlight it first. Then all we need to do is spin the C knob and rearrange it. Boom, it's first, then the next song, then the next. Need to rearrange something else? Let's put this one second. Go here, we want to end with 3 a.m., for example. All I'm doing is spinning the A knob to select the song, highlight the song, and the C knob to actually move it. So in a longer list, this would make more sense. We can move it all over the place, but it moves things around and it doesn't replace or erase anything. So that's very useful, very easy to do at the gig. Again, from the home menu, you're going to press E for setup, go to set list and press enter. You're going to edit the set and then spin A and C to adjust things around. No need to save, just hit the home button when you're done and everything will be updated. So that's an overview of the new Setlist feature in the public beta for 19.06 for the Axe-Fx 3. You do need a FC controller to fully utilize it. However, quick tip right at the end of the video, when you're in this view in Edit, if you click on a song in the song list, not the set list, but in the song list, if you click on that song, you can click these numbers here to sort of preview or test that it's going to the correct preset and scene. So I know it's a little small on this view, but watch the front panel, the camera on my front panel. I'm going to click 1 and it's going to change to preset 349. I'm going to click 2, it's going to go to 62. As I click these, it goes to the preset and scene that I've selected here. Let's test this one. We'll go to scene 3 instead. Click that and it goes to scene 3. Click that and it goes to preset 31, default scene, and so on. So really cool that even without an FC plugged in, or if you don't have one at all, you can make these sets if you want, make these set lists and arrange things how you want. And then using this song list, you can click around and, jump around to presets quickly, either as a test or to use it this way. But just a little heads up there. A few other quick ideas for using this set list function. Let's say you just got the Axe-Fx 3, and I always recommend just go through a bunch of presets and kind of write down, on a piece of paper or something, the ones that stood out to you, the ones that you like, so you can go back later. Now, before I would say then copy or swap those presets around to some empty banks in the order that you want. Well, I still agree with that. I still think that's a good idea, but now you don't really need to. You can leave all the presets where they are in the Axe-Fx memory, but instead just create songs and set lists if you want. And you say, oh, I went through this list and I really like Brit 800, and then another one I like is Brit Pre, and then another one I like is the Triptych, and so on. That's song 17. I can call this Favorites 1 or something like that. Drag Favorites 1 into the set list so you can actually access it, and then use the FC switches to jump around those songs and sections and things like that. Another common request is how to copy a scene from one preset to another. And we do know that scenes only select what blocks are on or off and what channel is selected. So to copy a scene technically doesn't make too much sense because it could include blocks that aren't in another preset. Anyway, now we can use set lists and songs to grab our favorite scenes from various presets wherever they are, and just like we did, create a song called Favorite and put in the sections we want, in the order we want, move them around, and right there we can jump around the memory of the Axe-Fx 3 and get exactly to the sounds we want without having to actually move things around in this saved memory, the preset 108, save it to preset 300, or something like that. So yeah, I see set lists definitely as a way to create actual set list, what it's called, songs in particular orders. However, I see it more as a way to keep the presets and scenes exactly where they are in the memory, but just another way to organize and sort of reference those presets and scenes that we want without having to move them or resave them or have duplicate presets. I still think all those ways we've done it before this still work, and some of them are probably still the best way to do it. Save duplicates of a preset so you can make small changes to each one or whatever. However, with Setlist, we do have another way for organizing all of our presets and scenes in specific orders, changing them around easily with drag and drop here, and however you want to do it. So really, really powerful. I think we're just scratching the surface of what this can do, and I'm super excited to see what you guys come up with and how you might be using Setlist. So let me know in the comments, let me know on the Fractal forum, and I'll see you around next time. Have a good one.